Hey YouTube. Of course I had issues. I have no idea why. So I'm going to do the intro. I noticed that there were two people on the other side waiting. So I'm going to give YouTube time to notify that I'm here instead of over there. And so I'm just going to do the intro. Hello and welcome. My name is Dion. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube. The crazy, just knowing it's okay to be your authentic self, regardless of how your self is. And the troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. As you're watching beauty related content, we'll hear you must use this, you must use that, this brand, this technique. And I'm here to tell you, use whatever you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we believe in self acceptance and self love, embracing our natural features, enhancing them if we want to, when we want to, but never because we feel like we have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. That's what we stand for here. Two things I need to let you know if you've never been here before is I do curse because I curse sometimes, period. The second thing is there's an organism, hey Janessa, lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches. And I always say, excuse me, whether I think you heard it or not. So that is the concept and the motto and the need to know things of the Crazy Troll Nation. Thank you for being here. And I do hope that resonates with you. Janessa, you know I had problems. The way I've just been clicking on the schedule live and then I can click the go live, it didn't give me that option. It kept saying connect to your streaming software. And I'm like, I don't use streaming software. I stream from my laptop. So I don't know if YouTube is just doing stuff again or what. Holiday cocoa chapstick. I have not had breakfast yet and my hands are feeling kind of shaky. No, I'm not diabetic, but I can tell sometimes with my sugar drops. So um I'm going to show you two things, or I think maybe I should wait so that who's here can see it. And I probably need to edit. Yeah, it let me go over there too, but it wasn't letting me stream it. When I clicked on it, because there was not a button that says go live like it usually is. And I'm just like, what? It kept telling me connecting to my streaming software. I don't even use a streaming software. So I was like, what the fuck is happening? Hey, Sons of Ray. So right now, I'm going to just see if I can get to that one from my phone and just delete that one. But I don't think it'll matter. No, it's not even showing up on my phone because I scheduled it from on my laptop. So I don't know what I don't know why it wasn't giving me the option to go live. And I kept trying to find it because it wasn't where it normally was. It wasn't anywhere. So then I said, let me just do this one. And what pisses me off is that I had did the description box. I had did, all the things. So I'm gonna have to go back and redo all the things. Yeah. But what I kind of felt like this live is our monthly roundup for September. And we have 14 palettes because one we no longer have because it died. But I realized something with the Roxa palette. This is look number 4. And this eye was tearing horribly. So that's why there's a hole right here because my tearing completely wiped away the shadow. But what I realized was, now y'all know Madame Violet was in purgatory because I was disappointed that it was a purple palette. Other notoriously morbid 9 pans that look monochromatic, they are not monochromatic. And so when I use this one, I'm like, every look is a purple look. And so it was in purgatory. And I am going to use it again this week because I'm like, okay, just accept it for what it is. And so what I realized today is, okay, we have Roxa, which is a purple palette, right? Even though they say it's purple, I don't see purple, but yet the looks I do look kind of purple, even though the lid shade here looks kind of bluish, which is still in the purple family. But what I realized today is these would look great together. The only mattes in here is this one and the one in the center and this one here. So 3 mattes. These 3 right here. So we have 6 other shimmers, metallics. And I'm like, that would give a lot more versatility to the Roxa palette because it has these 2 shiny shades, which are not really even colors. This one is like a dual chromish. This one is just like a silver purple. This one is not much of a color either. So I was thinking Madame Violet would complement Roxa, or Roxa would complement Madame Violet because of the match that's in here. This one makes me look ashy, and this one makes me look ashy. And that's when I can pull into or go into Madame Violet. So what do y'all think? Y'all think these would go well together? So I may do a pairing at some point in the future, but I am going to use Madame Violet on its own, just accepting it for what it is and not being disappointed that it is definitely a purple palette. And so that was just my own faulty expectations based on the other notoriously morbid palettes. Hey Tanya, it really is. I did not see any button that I can click to say go live like it's always been since I've been on my laptop doing lives. It kept saying connecting to your streaming software. I don't use a streaming software. So I was like, so I kept trying for like almost 5 minutes, and finally I said, let me just start over. So yeah, I don't know. And I know YouTube is always doing things and doing upgrades and doing beta testing on different things, but can you send me an email first though? And so I'm gonna copy and paste all that information into the description box for this one because that one was completely done and I was so excited. But so yeah, I do think these will go together very well, and I'm excited. But we are going to use Madame Violet again by itself. You ordered Roxa? Did you use my code? My link? What? Cesare. And so I'm on the fence. I don't regret purchasing Roxa, but if y'all will bear with me or tolerate the madness, because this is a September 2024 roundup, but I want to show y'all other purple looks that I've done. And so I realized that, okay, yes, use them points, girl. And so when I looked at other purple looks I've done, like this is not unique. And this is the fourth look, which I do like, but it's not unique to this palette. And so what I would like for y'all to do, bearing with me, first of all, for detouring like this, because this just hit me today. No, yeah, today, early this morning, because I know I'm nocturnal and I'm up at night. So it was early this morning. And I took screenshots of different purple looks that I've done. And there's 35 images. And so if this looks clear to you, let me know. And I'll just scroll through and show you the purple looks that I've done. So does this look clear? Maybe I should turn that off. Hey, Sylvia. Okay, so looking at this purple look, maybe I should turn this one off too. Don't want to poke you in the eye. So, and now the one in the back is just completely washing it out. So let me turn this one back on. So this, and I do have how I always put, what palette it was. This was from Lila, and I'm not going to say the palette and when I recorded it for all of them, but this was in 2022 with Lila. This is not that different from what I have on now. And I just got to remember to go the same way. This is how the tutor on her tablet was giving feedback. She would enlarge it and be like, okay, and this right here, oops. So this is another purple look, but it's not, I'm looking at this one down here. So it's not like the looks I've done with Roxa are not way different than other stuff that I've done. This is with Mothman palette. So look at this eyeshadow look. Hey, Michelle. So it's like, so now I'm wondering, like, are we going the right way? This is another purple look that we've done. So I'm just like, and this is with a mothership, looking at this one right here. And so I'm just like, this palette is not unique. Is this where we started? Yeah, we're going the wrong way. And so I need to keep going that way toward the light. Go toward the light, Carolyn. This look, wherever this is from, which is smokier, but looking at, shit. I'm trying to get to this one up top. So like I have a lot of purple looks, and it's just like, so this is making Roxa not unique. And when I did that lighter look, that's kind of what this looked like. I think we get drawn into the packaging and special shades and new palettes and hand over the money. And I don't buy like a lot of new stuff, but I was thinking, I got purple looks. And so now I'm kind of like, do I keep Roxa? This one is a really pretty look. And I can tell from this palette that these are lethal shades. This is a gorgeous look. So I'm like, I don't, so I'm trying to think, like, do I keep Roxa? And this is another one. I can't tell what palette that is. Oh, this is Pure Metals from Lethal. I had a reaction to those shadows. But if you look at the look, this is Roxa stuff. So I'm just like, and this is a deeper look. So we have, this is Ghost Town, this is Haunted Europe, which I don't have either one. But look at that look though. Like it's, so y'all, we got purples. This is a Lethal palette, it looks like. But look at this look. And so y'all know I don't like dupes in my collection. This is some kind of Haunted, which I do still have. But look at that look. I mean, I'm like, I have all of these purple looks that I actually like better than the looks I've done with Roxa, but I really haven't given Roxa that much detailed attention. This is one of my MAC palettes because I've just been trying to get shadows on. And then look number 3 was Hey Grace, was a look that Natasha did. Well, I did her color placement, the same as this one for look number 4. But this can be done with Roxa. And so I'm really just like, I look really pale. This must have been in dead of winter. And so I have all these purple looks, and I'm like, I don't need to. That's also some kind of Haunted. So what I'm doing with Roxa is not unique to what I did. And so I'm trying to, I don't want to jump the gun and say I'm going to give it away. This is Midnight Serenade from Lethal. But part of me is thinking, just get rid of it. This is the Unazai that me, Janessa, and Grace did a collab on. This isn't the collab look, but this is another look. But that is the palette that we did the collab on. And so I'm like, I got all sorts of purple. And even though this inner corner looks blue, so does this shade right here. You know what I'm saying? So this is Unearthly Aura. That's a purple look. So I'm just like, we have, this is another Unearthly Aura look. So if you have any of these palettes, Leela, some kind of Haunted, Unearthly Aura, if you have certain Lethal shades, you can do these looks. Dawn, you should use your Midnight Serenade in a video. You can't be abandoning Lethal. These are those little palettes, Spellcast Beauty palettes. And both of these is almost purplish looks, especially this one down here on the bottom. And that is, I think, the purple one, Violet Dreams, I think it was. Yeah, so what palette is this? That looks like a MAC BYOP. But look at that purple look. I mean, I didn't think I had that many purple looks. And it was earlier today. I was like, let me just look. And I'm like, I have. So Roxa is not unique. You see an ads done. And this is, we did a palette bingo or a palette pairing or something with 2 of the, no, we did one eye over the rainbow. That's this look down here. And this one isn't a purple look. So just this one down here, this side. So I'm just like, what palette is this one? Stone Cold. That's not Stone Cold Medusa. I want to say Web Weaver. But that did give me 2 really nice purple looks. This is another Notoriously Morbid palette. All right, so I'm going to stop because there's like 35 images. So yeah, y'all, I'm like, I have like 35 different looks. Oh, the Esom ones. That video airs. We're doing a premiere. It's coming out this week. That purple column, that's this. So I'm just like, oh, that's the last one. Awesome. So I'm thinking if I want to give this away. And I do know someone that hasn't purchased it yet that loves purples. But because I just showed y'all 35 different purple looks that I've done, this palette is not unique. And this look is not unique. I mean, yes, it's nice having it in this palette, but if I just want just straight purple, I can go into Matte and Violet because this is a straight purple monochromatic palette. And so I'm going to decide tonight because I don't want to jump the gun and say I'm going to give it away and then regret it. But I have 35 other purple looks I could do, and I do still have most of those palettes. You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think? keep Roxa or give it away? Because I clearly can dupe it with 35 other looks and other palettes we have. You have a 6-pan from Jewelry's Place, that violet's on set. Yeah, and I just realized that this morning. I'm like, let me look and see what I got. And I was just like, this is Boathouse Farms, y'all. The amazing mango. I saw your comment, Tanya, about, let me scroll up. I don't buy nothing from Jeffree Star because I think he's a racist. That's just me. So I've never purchased anything from him. I was here back in the day, he called Jackie Aina a monkey. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't have anything from him. So okay, I'm scrolling up to read comments. Oh, excuse me if y'all heard that. So Sons of Ray, I hope you like it. And I hope you don't have other purples. Like after the fact, like I did realize I can do purple looks with other stuff, like a whole lot of other stuff. Tanya says she doesn't think Roxa is special, especially with the Leela palette out there. Leela is not a dupe for Roxa because I did the swatches when I did the live stream. It's only one shade that was a dupe for Roxa. The Leela one was a little bit darker, I think, and the Roxa one was a little more shiny. But other than that, like the color was a dupe. That's the only thing, because Leela is more rich and is deeper than Roxa. So those, even though a lot of people are comparing it to that, when I did the swatches in the live stream, they are not the same. Seeing it drawn into the package. Yeah, Michelle says she has great purple spread around, and Roxa isn't purple enough for me after all. Yeah. This 9-pan from Notoriously Morbid is more purple than the Roxa because every look I've done was purple. And that's why I'm like, excuse me. But you can get other stuff out of here. Like because I'm thinking to do a look with just these 2 columns over here. But still. And the thing with that is there's 4 mattes over here and only 2 shimmers. But I can just use these for transition shades, which I've been like, I like that I did do Natasha Denona's placement because she'll put down like one of these, one of these, and then like on the second half transition and put one of these on first half transition, which these 2 blended into the same exact freaking shade. But using her placements, I have been using shadows in a different type of way as far as the placement. So I do enjoy that. But I'm looking at this like, I do love this shade. I do love this one, even though it's dry as hell. This one is my favorite shade, which is ironic because most people would say this one in the middle, but this is just a purpley shimmer. Even though it looks pretty, it just shows up one color. And so, I mean, it's nice to have it, but if I do just want a straight purple look, I can go to this one or some kind of haunted or my lethal BYOPs, my MAC BYOPs, my other, you know what I'm saying? So I have that stuff. And so it's not, let me see. Tanya, the nude is not going to Macari. In the video that I did the looks, I think it might have been the first 2 looks with I Need a Nude. I said at least 3 times in that video that palette I purchased for my kit. So that's not going to Macari and it's not for me to keep. I purchased it for the kit. And yeah, I mentioned that a few times in that video. So that's not going anywhere. And I do have someone in mind who hasn't purchased Roxa yet that I might just see if they want it. But it's not going to go on Macari. And I did put my Leela, which has 4 Biba shades in it, in my Macari, but then I took that out and put my kit. And so Michelle says she looks forward to seeing my own look with Roxa to see what you think of it. The first 2 looks was just looks that I did. And we put like 7 shades on one eye and 8 shades on the other. Look 3 was a Natasha placement, and this look was a Natasha placement. For those of you who just got here, this eye is tearing horribly, so that's why there's a patch in there, because when it tears upward, it just washes away the shadow. So that's why it looks like there's a hole like in here. But so looks number 1 and 2 was just on my own, just getting the shadows on to see what they look like. And I did have, well, when I did the swatches, I had buyer's remorse. And I'm like, don't get it. But then as I started using it, I was just like, eh. And so then I got excited to see like what else I can do. But seeing that I have all those other purple shadows and different palettes and the 35 purple looks, I'm like, okay, do I still want to keep it? And I'm leaning towards no. I do kind of want to do another couple more looks, but then, you know, I think I'll be ready to give it away. But I do think I want to give it away. But just do a couple more looks first. Dawn needs to use Midnight Serenade. Dawn plenty of purples. I didn't get anything from Menagerie because I think they use some pressed pigments, and so I don't even check for them. Juvia's Place uses pressed pigments. I don't use that. Have you done any purple? Oh, that's your. I'm reading your comment again because I scrolled up and now I'm scrolling down. Yeah, I don't have nothing from Jeffrey. Dawn says she used to love Jeffrey until she knew that about him. There was this whole thing on YouTube, and I was just like, and I never was drawn to him. Like I'm drawn to Hung Vango to watch his stuff. Hey Tony. But it was just something about Jeffrey even before that stuff came out that it just didn't. I don't know. And somebody, Fabulous 50 watches Paint by Spencer. I think that's who it is. And I said I don't watch Paint by Spencer because I don't want to be mean, and I'm not trying to be mean. Y'all know I just say how I feel. It looks like he has either fillers or some type of work done to his face. And so it's hard for me to watch him and think, okay, this is going to be natural looking makeup because of how his features look. And so I'm just like, so there's a disconnect for me. But like Hung Vango, I don't want to say normal, but his face looks natural and he does wear makeup, but it just looks like he's not. Who else? Rich Star or whoever, the one I don't, and even though I like bold eyeshadow, I like a black lipstick, I still want the face part, like the cheek situation and, stuff like that but it's just my preference for stuff. And so some people I don't watch because I can't get past what their features look like or whatever work it looks like they had done. You know what I mean? But that's just me. And I know that probably sounds convoluted and y'all know my brain is different than other people. So, yeah. You've got those colors somewhere. Oh, says Tanya. What does this palette remind me of? Cross between Love and Huda Naughty Nudes. Dawn, if you haven't, see, I'm not, and I feel like I keep mentioning Morgan a lot. She did a video comparing Roxa to Love Palette, and I think I Need a Dream and something else. But I will keep saying Leela is not a dupe for Roxa. Leela is a lot deeper. Roxa is Leela's younger stepsister. But Morgan did some swatches and stuff, and I think Alicia did too, because she has all Natasha stuff too. So those are the two people I would recommend watching to see the comparisons. I didn't get Love because some of Natasha's reds, I do believe it's the amount of carmine that's in it. It irritates my lids, and so I didn't get Retro, and I didn't get Love. And then too, I don't usually use a lot of reds, but for the kit you forgot. Yeah, so yeah, nude. I need a nude. I got that specifically for the kit, but I just wanted to see what I can do with it. I am going to do a few more looks with it. And then that's going to go, I'll sanitize it and that'll go in the kit. You wasn't schooled on the drama of JS until, yeah. And a lot of people haven't. And even when I was talking to Fabulous 50 I said something to her. She was like, really? So if people don't, because I'm on YouTube a lot. And so we see things, we hear things, but people who don't watch a lot of YouTube, or if they're not heavy into Instagram, which I'm not on my makeup Instagram at all anymore, they don't know these things. But I had said something to her. She was like, really? And I had told her, she was like, oh, Morphe this, Morphe that. I'm like, I have never purchased anything from Morphe except the eyeliner brush I found at Marshall's for like $3.99. She was like, why? I said, for me, it just always felt problematic, even before it was like publicly known to be problematic. It was just something about, like, it was just something I was just like, yeah, he has done something to his face. Yeah, the Paint by Spencer, he creates nice looks on others. It's hard for me to appreciate the looks on others because I'm looking at him like, what's with the face? And I know that sounds mean and I'm not trying to be, but I'm like, yeah, there's a disconnect in my brain. Yes, this is my fourth look, Tony, with Roxa, and I somewhat used or was inspired by the purple glam look that Natasha did here on YouTube. So I kind of did her color placement, but made it suitable for my eye shape. And this patch is because this eye keeps tearing and it just teared the shadow away. So that's why there's a hole right there. What is it, that over here? You think Alicia was glorifying the Roxa in the review was biased, my humble opinion. Sometimes, I will say this. Sometimes I intentionally do not watch Alicia's videos because eons ago when I was watching her, she makes everything look fantastic. And I'm like, oh, I want to go get it. And I put it on and I'm like, oh. So sometimes I intentionally don't watch her because I know it's going to look great. You know what I'm saying? And I know, and so after my mind is made up on if I want something or not, then I'll just watch it just to watch it. But if I'm deciding whether or not to get something, I won't watch her because then I'll end up getting it because everything looks fabulous the way she does her makeup. Um, Dawn says, I'm kind of the same way when I have a hard time too much with lip filler. I mean, watching some channels. But yeah, Alicia, she is a Natasha Denona fan, and so is Morgan. But Morgan will tell you this is dry, this looks like that. You don't need to get it if you got that. And also, like even her hourglass face palette, she's like, if you have this one and that one, you don't need this. You can get this shade over there and over there. And so I do appreciate that she does that. But yeah, I do definitely hear what you're saying. It's a darn shame because his makeup is made in U.S. No, what's the shame is his personality. That's what the shame is. I didn't mean to yell at you, Dawn. Like seriously, I apologize. Yeah, let me move on to somebody else's comment because that dude, man. Um, Tanya only has a foundation brush for Morphe, and Dawn says it's hard when people look too perfect and everything, and some have their light so bright in the face, so that doesn't help. She uses natural lighting, and she'll sometimes say, "I know it got dumb, the clouds, whatever." Yeah, she does natural lighting. Janessa says, "Oh yeah, some of the lip fillers out there. Wow." But even his cheeks to me look like implants, and it might really just be his bone structure. I don't know, but I just have a hard time watching him. So, Tony, I don't know if you were here for this. I was holding up. Yeah, that too. Some people are just Roxa and Madame Violet. I think this would be a good pairing. And what just hit me just now, actually, this second, was I'm starting to appreciate Madame Violet more. Because if I want a purple palette, I have a purple one. Even though initially I was disappointed that it was actually purple monochromatic, but that was my faulty expectation. But even though the looks I've done with this came out purple, so this one, that shimmer shade in the center is kind of bluish, but I can get this from that. And I don't know if you were here for it, Tony, but I showed from on my phone 35 looks I've done in the past of purple eyeshadow looks. I have enough purples. I have enough purples. And so I'm going to use this some more, and then I'm going to give it away. Excuse me, y'all. I need to do something before it slips my mind. Just give me one quick second. And then we're going to get into our roundup for September. Okay. Sometimes if I don't do stuff right away, I forget. Tell me I'm not the only one. Tell me I'm not the only one. So what we use in September, let me sip some more Bolthouse. If y'all like the flavor of mango, Bolthouse Farms, one of their flavors is amazing mango, and it tastes just like you're eating a mango. Sometimes in the wee hours of the morning, when I just feel like eating something, but I'm not hungry, I'll drink amazing mango because it is like a snack. So what we used in September, thank you y'all for letting me go through all of that. We used the Pride palette. And actually it was that for September? No, we didn't do that yet. Okay, now that's out the way. So I'm gonna do a few more looks with Roxa, and then I'm gonna give this away. All is not lost. We're gonna just give that away. I'm gonna do a couple more, maybe at least 2 more looks. But then it may not even matter because I have 35 looks with other stuff that's purple and bluish. So we used this in October for collab, but I did use this in September, and I do believe we did like 5 looks at least to use all. Let me show y'all. We used every shade in here, and I think it took like 5 looks. There is another look I want to do because Princess did a look and she sent me her shadow placement, and so I do have that screenshot in my phone of the shadow placement. I just need to write it out and do that look, so that'll definitely be coming. I think right now I am going to tier them, and then we will do what's the name? We'll do a recap at the end. So We also used Midnight Sun, Mothership 6 from Pat McGrath. Yo, I love this palette and I need to use it more. And you know what's ironic is I when I showed all of my treasure troll trove, thank you, Janessa, for that phrase, because she has suggested that in a live stream before when I was saying I don't want to call it my collection because I'm not a collector. And she was like, how about treasure troll trove? And I was like, oh, so that's where that came from. And when I showed all of my collection, I put 22 palettes in purgatory. But then I ordered, I think, 3 palettes from Notoriously Morbid. And then what else did I get? Then I got Roxa, but I feel like there's something else that I purchased. Oh, then I got the PR palette. So I'm just like, and after I put the 22 in purgatory, I rearranged where my palettes are. So there is no more room for anything. And I'm just like, now I'm gonna have to like rearrange it again to put space for the stuff I purchased. And if the stuff in purgatory that I didn't give away yet, if I decide to keep it, I still need more space again because I condensed everything. And I'm just like, why put stuff in purgatory if I'm buying new stuff? So we use Midnight Sun, which I love because this is a grungy color story. These 2 shades right here, and even how these show up. This is grungy. I don't use the celestial shades too much, believe it or not, in any of the motherships. And so when I use the motherships, I have to like intentionally use one of the celestial shades because usually, like, I'm cool with this half of the palette. I really am. But so we use this. We know MAC is top tier, and my goal was to have everything top tier. Mothership number 5 is top tier. Tanya's asking if anyone is going to try or have tried the Tier foundation. Tur, I don't know how to pronounce that. This is Moonlit Seduction. I love this palette. It's something about this gray, but not just because of the gray. All the looks I've done with this palette, I really like. And I love the formula. This is that flaky shade. This was, and I'm seeing red, like a burgundy. This is what I see in person. But when I hold it this way, it's that blue silvery. This was a learning curve because it's flaky. Put your brush in it, flakes come up. Sponge tip, flakes come up, tap off, the flake come off. And so I learned that I need to keep the flake on the sponge tip and then put it on and just smear it to blend it. But once I learned to work it, I do like that shade. But this palette, I love this freaking palette. And I do want everything to be top tier. And that's why some stuff went into purgatory. But once I use it, we'll see if it stays there or not. We also used in September Paradise Islands from Nomad Cosmetics. I'm trying to think if I think I bought this when it was on sale. And I do like the looks that I did. When I used it in September, I like the looks that I did. And I did it, I used this in September on purpose because people are like, oh, this is a great summer palette. This is a great spring palette. I said, look, I'm going to use this in the fall. How about that? Because y'all know I wear what I want to anyway. Tony says she wants to try that foundation, but it's hard for her to choose a shade online. Hey, Maddie, the sparkling witch. It is so good to see you. It just does something for me when I know somebody is like way somewhere else, like in another country. So thank you for being here. You see my face just lit up, right? And so I do like this palette. Initially I said I could do without the top row. This one is a tad ashy unless I just do a thin line, but I do actually like this palette more than I thought, dare I say. And I didn't get it for a long time because I'm just like, I don't want no pastel palette. And it went on sale and it was a really good sale. And so I purchased it and I actually do like it. I will say it's unique to my collection because I'm not thinking of any looks that I've done with this that I've done with other stuff. Like when I was thinking of purple palettes and I went through my gallery in my phone and found 35 looks. That green is joining you in. The shimmer one, Tanya, this is pretty. And this is really deep. The only thing I'll say about this palette is short break during your night shift. So perfect. Watch a bit of things. Thank you. I'm glad you're here because you can be doing anything on your break and you're here with the Trollation. I appreciate that. This deep green. I don't want to say complaint, but I'll say complaint, and it may not have worked with this color story, is that if you're darker than me, if you're brown skin, the only thing you have to deepen is this one. And I don't even want to say this one because this is a metallic shimmer or something. And that's been a complaint of other people previously with Nomad, especially when they first started out. You're on a Cleona kick right now. And I don't use any of their stuff either because I believe they use pigments too. Like there's so many brands I just stay away from and don't even check for it, don't even look for it because I know I'm not going to be able to use all of their stuff. But yeah, I have seen it and a lot of people love them. And they have them high shine shimmers and they do look really pretty. When Nomad first started, like even a couple years in, people were saying I don't buy from them because they don't have any deep shades. Like if you're past tan, they're like there's no shades. And so I do like that as they went on, Nomad does listen to constructive criticism. And I can see in their palettes where they did start putting, deeper shades. But for this palette, I don't know what they could have done except, still have this shade, but then have like a deep, deep dark purple. But as far as and a black wouldn't look right in the palette, and so and a dark brown wouldn't. So I understand the color story, but I also understand that it's not suitable for everybody. And some people do buy palettes knowing it's going to be a companion palette. Me, I want to use a palette for what it is, just like with Roxa. And I'm saying it would pair well with Matte and Violet because you have more options for shimmers and all of that. But I don't want to buy something knowing I have to use it with something else. I want that to be an option. Like I want that to be like, oh, let's just do this and see what happens, and not, okay, I need to pull out these two to do a look. I don't want it to be a requirement. But I know some people are okay with that. And what's sad to me is you want a palette that can stand on its own. Exactly. And what's sad to me is I have heard there's none of Shimmer's for me. I love shimmer heavy palettes. And not notoriously morbid. Nomad shimmers are not even that high shine shimmer. It's more like a metallic satin type, which is cool for me. Like what I'm wearing now, it's cool for me because y'all know I like the dark and smoky. So why'd I get this bright ass palette? Who knows? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, what's sad to me is I've heard brown skin content creators say from certain brands, they know they're not even going to use the entire palette. But if they use, like, okay, this is 18 pans. If they can only use 14 of the shadows, they'll still get it, knowing they won't be able to use the other 4 because they won't show up or they're too light or might make them dusty. And that makes me feel sad to buy something knowing you can't use the whole thing. And that's what's important to me. And even though I'm in the middle of the spectrum, some stuff still I'm like, And so it's sad that I'm not going to say that there's brands that do that because I like Hourglass. Yes, the shit is intentional with their face palettes. I'm just like, y'all just. But and Nomad I give a pass because they do take constructive criticism and they did start, adding deeper shades in their palettes as time went on. But some brands, that just makes me sad to know somebody's buying something knowing they won't be able to use all of it. But if they're okay with that, then why should I be sad? You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I feel kind of weird about it. Like if they don't feel sad about it, why should I? But just to know, oh yeah, I'm going to we'll use Hourglass. Oh yeah, I'm going to get this Hourglass palette, even though I know I can't use 2 of the shades. You know what I'm saying? And stuff be costing too damn much to not use all the stuff. So this is top tier because it's different. This is not something I would repurchase. And the PAO is in April next year. These, y'all, Midnight Sun, the PAO was March 2023. And it's still fine. Doesn't irritate my lids. For Moonlit Seduction, it was June this year. Doesn't irritate my lids. Everything's fine. I just got the MAC this year. And MAC stuff doesn't have a PAO, which means it should be good for at least 3 years, almost 3 years. And so this is Martine Cosmetics Mission XXX. I don't know what the PAO was November this year. I don't know if I would repurchase this. It's not available anymore. But if I could, I don't think I would repurchase this because I've done some beautiful looks with this palette. I've done purple looks. I've done green looks. I've done like blue looks. I've done smoky looks. I even did a silver look. I used this shade, this one, these two, and I think this one. The whole look was just straight silver, like silver monochromatic. It was beautiful. And it has this nice black in here. But because I can, yeah, the greens, ooh. And these two shades, they look bright as hell, but for me, it's just like a muted transition shade or the buff out lower lash line. But I really love this palette. I'll use it until it irritates my lids, like I did with 669. But even if it was available, I wouldn't repurchase because the looks I've done with this, I have similar looks with other stuff. If I want a green look, I have greens. I want a silver look, I have xenon for that. If I want to do a gray smoky type thing or whatever. But this is top tier. This is a really beautiful palette. And you can go in so many directions. As I said, I did a blue smoky look. I did a silver gray smoky look. The packaging is bulky, but it fits. Like it is unique the way they do their packaging, but I think all of their packaging is like that. They have a palette out now called Something Circus. And I kept looking at it. I want to say it's a rainbow palette, but it's not like the bright colors for rainbow palettes usually have. And I keep looking at it and I'm like, I know I don't use them damn shades. But it is really pretty though. And I know their shadows work for me, but I'm not getting it. I'm not going to get it. But yeah, so the looks I did with this were like really pretty. And it wasn't just a green look every time I used it. And I intentionally did stuff different. And I do like the Aliens theme, the movies and all of that, and the Predator movies. So that's top tier. So far, everything is top tier. And that was my goal. So that's another thing with the stuff that's in purgatory is it top tier or not? You know what I'm saying? It is bulky though. Like this is just a mirror. This whole piece is thick. And even 669 was bulky as hell, and I loved it. Like if you look over all of my stash, you know which one is notoriously morbid. Just like you, not notoriously morbid. Martine Cosmetics, just like you'll know what Pat is because the black lacquer. So it's something that separates them from other brands is how they package stuff. And the same with Natasha. She knows packaging. Speaking of her, we use Biba this month. No, September. These 4 shades right here are from Lila. And these were the ones I used most from Lila. And the 4 shades in here that were from Biba, they were like lighter tones that I seldom used, or they didn't really show up on me, that type of thing. And so, but I do like this palette. This down here, I did a nice smoky look with this. I've done brown smoky looks with this because the only metallics, shimmers, whatever, that are in here, original to Biba, is this one and this one. Biba did not have a lot of metallics. And so these are metallics. This one is a dual chrome. And again, these 4 are from Lila. And so this is top tier. I love it. I do. And Natasha stuff is 24 months. And this is a newer one I purchased in 2023. So October 2025 is when the PAO was up for this one. This is my second time having Biba. And still on Natasha. I need a warm. I like this palette. And you're like, girl, but you like smoky grunge and all of that. Yeah, you know what though? This palette is simple to use. The formula is nice. I can just pick this up, do a look. It's going to be basic, but it's going to be pretty. Like if I didn't have time to do smoke or to do grunge or to use deep bold colors or to use bright colors, because you got to really think about those things. This, I can just put anything almost anywhere and it's going to look right. And I do actually like it, which is weird. And so this is unique to my stash because I don't really get palettes like this. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing for me too. I like stuff to be unique in my collection. And I have like 10 palettes and it's all the same color story, which is why with Roxa and Men in Violet, I'm like, Men in Violet is more, hey Lock, it's more purple than Roxa. And I showed y'all 35 other looks that I've done that was purple. So I have that. But this is definitely unique. And it's just, I'm trying to keep that clear off, but it's definitely, it's just easy. And somebody had commented, I don't know if it was this palette or golden. They were like, all the looks are pretty. They're basic, but they're pretty. I'm like, that's the perfect way to describe it. Basic and pretty. And you don't have to put a lot of thought into it because it's going to look right. For me anyway. And I do like that they have this dark shade here and this dark one here. And this is a matte as well, and this one, but that's a lighter. So she has like 3 browns in here, but they're different tones. But I really do like this palette. Been a busy few days. We'll be playing catch up and watching videos. My time has been so weird, y'all. Like I don't, so I can relate to that. Why did I mark those? And this is the one that had the slip cream mattes in them. But in Roxa, there is no slip cream formula. She has the silky something matte formula. So Roxa is just a completely different beast. I think I have no neutral palette going for all colors. More colors and black, of course. Then you would like this one. It's not available anymore. You would like this one, the MAC Pride palette. This thing is so gorgeous. All the colors. And I love MAC's formula. The metallics, some of them, well, there's quite a few satins in here. So it's not going to be the high shine shimmer shimmer, but this, and every palette that I'm showing you, I do have a playlist for. This is just in general for everybody. So if you want to see what I did with this, Maddie, you can check out my MAC limited edition palette, because I do have other MAC playlists, but my limited edition MAC playlist. And I did a collab with this in October, me and Janessa J Champagne, and that was a lot of fun. But this, all the colors. Oh. And I don't mind metallics and satins over like the high shine shimmer shimmer. Like I don't care, for people to be like, oh my gosh, that's so bright. Like I'm not trying to, I don't know. I knew this lady a long time ago. She was a couple years older than me. Oh, Tony's asking you, Maddie, the Makeup Lady Creations, that's Tony. She's asking you, Maddie, are you a shimmer girl or a matte girl? It is a beautiful palette. I saw it and I was kind of like, And then Janessa purchased it and I was like, ooh. And I ordered online and went in the store to purchase something else. And they had these next to the register. And I was like, okay, look away, look away. And I kept looking, and finally I went over there and I'm looking at it. And I was like, damn, this is beautiful. And I went back a couple days later and bought one. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I need a warm. It surprised me to get it. And I was excited to see what I can do with it, because I don't like those type of tones. I like dark, I like grungy, I like smoky, you know what I mean? But so Maddie says she uses mattes as a base and then go heavily in the shimmers, duochrome, multichrome. Okay. We have quite a bit of, let's do lethal. This is my lethal 669 dupe palette. And before I put, I need a warm person. It is locked. It is gorgeous. And those tones will pop when you lock them shimmers in there and them high shines, that sparkling foil. Yeah, I did. Prior to the last times I used 669, some of the shadows were irritating my lids. Some of them that weren't crumbly, they were crumbling. So I knew it was dying. And so I'm glad I got this when I did this. This is not what I'm seeing. This is a duochrome, and I can't get you to see. Here we go. This shade right here, and you see my finger in the mirror. This shade. This is what I see in person, like an orange gold up here in the mirror. But down here, this is what you see. That's a beautiful shade. I forgot I did that, because I'm looking where you are, and I'm like, that don't look like what I see in person. This is a duochrome too, because this is showing up purple. Let's see if I can do that again. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to get all them lights. So this one right here, if you see my finger up top, that's purple. But then when you look down here, it's blue. That's gorgeous. So what I did before and we did a moment of silence in the live stream and everything for 669. I did one eye. I did it by rows, and I tried to, thank you, Tanya. Hey, Sarah. And I did try to line them up how they were lined up in the 669. So we used the top row, one look, lethal, the other eye, top row with 669. Did the same thing with the middle row, one eye with this palette, the other eye was 669. Bottom row, one eye this palette, one eye 669. They were not exact dupes, but the vibes were the same, and they were similar. Not exact dupes, but they were similar. And so I'm so glad that I put this together before I had to bury 669, because I did want to see how close I got. And I am really pleased with this. I love Lethal's formula. It works for me. The only shadows I had a problem with was their pure metals. And so this is from the 669 palette, excuse me. And so that fits perfectly in my lethal palette. So this is my lethal 69. Y'all know that that's top tier. Y'all know that that's top tier. Oh, my neighbor just texted me. Yeah, we haven't chatted in like 2 days, I think. So everything else, no. We got one more lethal. We got 5 more palettes. Midnight Serenade. I almost didn't get this because I should have brought it over here. I have Jolena. Jolena has passed its time, but it doesn't irritate my lids yet. Jolena is deeper than this one. And I was saying how this shade is a dual chrome because this is what I see. I see purple here, but up here it looks blue. Something else is a shift in here, but it's like the basic kind of shift. Another reason I almost didn't get this one was because I don't like these tones right here. These two blend in together. These two blend in together. So these two pinky ones and these two. And so I'm like, why are they all here? Like they could have just had one of these and put something else in here. But I ended up purchasing it because I really enjoy lethal shadows. And I do like every look that I've done with it. But I'm annoyed, which I shouldn't be because I had a feeling they were going to look the same, and they do. These two show up the same on me. These two show up the same on me. And this one show up the same. So I'm just like, why are y'all here? But what I'm learning from following Natasha's shadow placement is that she does layer a lot. What I don't think I'm gonna continue to do, or if I do, I'll use the matte paint pot. When I did this look, she lays, if you've watched any of Natasha's videos, she lays down a black and does the wing and puts black lower lash line. Then she'll take a shadow and blend it out. I've been using the MAC Color Excess Gel Pencil Liners, which they don't blend out. But what I realized is I could have used MAC's paint pot, the black mirror, the black one, and put it on and blend it out. And so she, most of her looks are somewhat smoky, at least for the outer corner, because she always lays a black or a burgundy, which is really dark, and then she'll layer it. And even for her transition shades, this is 3 different transition shades, but that's how that was her placement. And so that's what these would be for. Like put one down and then layer, or put one first half transition, second half, even though it's going to blend in together. And then she would go in with this in transition also. So I'm just like, why are all those shades there if they blend in? But anyway, that is a way that I can get use out of it. This is top tier. Y'all, everything is top tier today. That's my dream. This was the NPR from Notoriously Morbid, the Unearthly Aura palette. Spellcast, a big chunk of purple. Spellcast Beauty came out with What's Life Without a Little Gossip or something like that. And I remember showing this in a video, and I had a screenshot of Life, whatever, Gossip up here. And to me, they look very similar, except the Gossip one has more greens in it and maybe a couple more blues in it, but the vibe is the same. And so I didn't get that one because I have this one. And I believe it's all shimmer like this one. This one is all multi-chrome, dual chrome, or shimmers. There's no matte in sight. And I think I've only used this on its own so far because I don't mind doing all shimmer looks and I don't mind doing all matte looks either. But some people, actually, the few people I've seen with this were like, oh, it's a great companion palette. I'm like, what? I just use it on its own. But it depends on your style and what you like. And I almost want to be annoyed, but I'm not. So it's like, if you're wondering whether or not to get this palette, right? And you're like me, you use a palette for what it is. And when you're still waiting for yours, I think you're gonna love it. I love this one. I do have a playlist for this too. And these colors though, oh my God. And y'all know I love these dark tones down here too. If someone is like me and you want to use a palette for what it is and not just be like, oh, all shimmer is a companion palette. What annoys me, and it shouldn't because people do what they do. Why am I having trouble holding it straight? Let me just sit this on top of, that ain't gonna work. So let me just hold it like, well, I was holding it like that. Is when they're like, oh, let's use this palette. And then they go into another one and lay their mattes and then they put a shimmer from here on the lid. I'm like, well, that's not showing me what the palette could do. If you're mixing it with mattes from other stuff, you know what I mean? Let me know if that makes sense to y'all. Because I want to see what a palette does. And even if my intention is, oh yeah, later on I'll pair it with other stuff, pair it with other stuff, I still want to see what this can do on its own. Because what if I go somewhere and I forget to grab a matte palette? And then I'll be like, oh, I can't do my makeup because I don't have no mattes. No, we're still going to do our face and do an eyeshadow look. But so that kind of irritates me in a way because I'm not seeing what the palette does when they lay down like 4 mattes and then they use this, because then that's only like 2 shadows. So it's not showing me what the palette can do. But that's just me though. But I really love this palette. The color story for me is unique and I'm excited to have it. The only thing I don't like is that the PAO was only 12 months. And what's surprising though, Mothman, the PAO is 24 months. But then their other palettes is only 12. And I do think I would repurchase this if it was still available, because I really do love it. I was so excited for you, Maddie, that your advent calendar came in. I was really sitting here grinning like, oh my God, she got it today. This is Salem Cosmetics Sassy Fairy in My Dreams collab. And the sleeve looks like the packaging. That all shimmer palette is right up your alley. It is gorgeous. This, and for people who do pair palettes where they have to have a matte, you have all types of shimmers in here. Shimmers, multi-chromes, and dual chromes. And on the back, well, they don't show the shifts on the back. Yeah, so it's an alien theme. Unearthly aura, which is kind of cute. And it tells you which ones are lip safe and which ones are not lip safe. So this palette, I remember I said before that I purchased it only because it was on sale for $29.16. Because I looked at the color story and I'm like, this does have shimmer in it. This one down here in the middle. The artwork is nice. Yeah, that gothy look. Yup. Definitely. I'm like, is her eyes open or closed? Like, what the hell? Is she possessed? And she's holding a crystal ball that looks like her eyes. But anyway, and it's kind of textured too, so you can feel, the stuff. But I saw this back when I was on Makeup Instagram. I'm like, I'm not getting it. Because even though I like dark, I don't always want to wear an all dark look. And then I saw it. It went on sale for $29.16. And I was like, ooh. So I purchased it. I love this friggin' palette. This is top tier. The first look I did, this shade right here, it's like this on 100. This right here is so bold and so shiny. I was like, oh my gosh. But even these other shades, this one is flaky. And you can see that it's flaky. But it's creamy at the same time, which is weird. And everything else is a matte, except this one is a matte with shimmer. This one in the middle. But this palette, y'all, top tier. And I just bought this in May this year. So this is good till next summer at least. Swatch that blue, says Tony. Oh, man, I don't got no sponge tips over here. No, I don't like. All right, hold on, y'all. Let me go get my sponge tips. Don't leave me. I'm coming back. Whew. Okay. I am seriously sweating, y'all. It's like 70-something degrees outside, which is ridiculous because a couple of nights ago it was 55 degrees outside. And you see what time it is. So y'all turned my AC back on, but then I turned it down when I did this look because my eyes kept tearing. So now I'm like, now I'm hot. And not in a sexy way, damn it. All right, so this blue. And so it looks, it's like different shades of blue. Well, let's just swatch it. It's creamy and it does pick up. This one crumbles and it's creamy at the same time. So, let me see. Where are we going to put you? Am I going to do anything else after this video? I don't think so. Look at, oh my gosh. And it blends so easy. Like, look at this. It's just blending. Look at that, y'all. Bam. Bam. That shade. Woo. Lord. Yeah, my first look, I think, is when I use that shade. Maddie says, I'm not so pastel for this palette, but the dark shades and the shimmer in the middle is gorgeous. Yeah, and I like the dark shades too, and they do a lot for this palette. They do a lot, and half the palette is dark. These right here, this is more bright than dark, but it can still show up dark though. But these, so I purchased it only because it was on sale, and then I had to pay tax or ship. No, not tax. Anything shipping to Delaware, yes, it is, Grace. It is gorgeous. Anything shipping to Delaware, I don't pay tax, but I did have to pay shipping. So I think I paid like $33 or something for it. Maybe even less than that. $29.19. It's not available anymore. Selling Cosmetics comes out with stuff and then it's just gone. The same with whatever brand I'm thinking of. I can't think of right now. How am I thinking of it and can't think of it? I don't be making no sense. Who am I thinking about? No, it's still column. Selling Cosmetics. I was thinking of the Grunge Life palette. When their stuff is gone, it's just gone. Like they. The next two are Notoriously Morbid. I do have a code below. This one is Rusted Essence number 3, volume 3. This palette, y'all, is so pretty. This is top tier. Everything for September is top tier. And I did order volume 1, volume 2, and I forget the third palette that I ordered. After I put stuff in purgatory, then I started buying them. Y'all, but then I used credit though. And so thanks to Tony, because she uses my code. And yeah, this one has pink in it, that center shade. You see them pink shifts in there? Look at that. That's pretty. And I don't know who else uses it, but somebody else, because when it shows how much credit that I have, I'm like, that's got to be more than one person. But yeah, so thank you, Tony. This is gorgeous. And this is grungy. You have your green, your mustard, and a purple. These are the only mattes in this palette. And then you have all of these shimmers to choose from. This is gorgeous. I want to say this is the shade that was hard pan, but I don't, let me see real quick. Yeah, this is the one that wants to be hard pan. Like it is not moving and all of that. This is all that came up. Where's my mirror? So that was disappointing. They sent it to me in PR, so I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm pissed off or not, but it barely picks up. It barely shows up because it's hard pan. And I did scrape it with the spoolie, and when I scraped it, I can use what's scraped up, but then I would have to scrape it every time before I want to use it. So I can scrape it, tap the brush in it, pick up what's scraped off, put it on, and then I would have to scrape it again to get some more. And I'm like, I'm not doing all of that. And even though it's cute, like it ain't worth the trouble. And I didn't even tell the PR rep, because she'd be like, oh, we'll send you another one, but I didn't want them to do that just for one shadow. Like if something was shattered or broken, then yeah, but just one hard pan color that even when I get it to show up, it doesn't really show up. I'm like, I won't use it. But I love Notoriously Morbid. Stone Cold Medusa from Notoriously Morbid. And on the back, it shows you which ones have shifts. So that's when you see like the two colors on it, and even with this one. But this is what this looks like. This is all shimmer metallic, summer dual chromes. So this is almost like a condensed version of Unearthly Aura, because they're all shimmer dual chrome or metallic. I'm trying to hold this. I don't know why I can't hold this straight. Some colors behave strange. Yeah, and that was my only time with a Notoriously Morbid shade that just would not pick up. I mean, it's straight hard pan. I was like, what the heck? And they do hand press their stuff. Their newer palette, it might have been something that came with the advent calendar or something. You have Stone Cold, yeah, and all. This is a gorgeous palette. All shimmer, and those shadows are fantastic. They are. They said they were doing a new formula now, and I'm just like, oh. But I do have one of their palettes since then, and I don't think I noticed the difference. Where they're going to be pressing them not in-house, so that way they should ship quicker. They were saying when they press it, they ship it the next day, but they don't say how long it's going to take to get to your order to press it. You know what I mean? So it's not like you order it today and it's going to ship tomorrow. If they don't press it till 4 days later, it'll be shipped the 5th day, that type of thing. But yeah, this is really beautiful. And I think I use this on its own too, because I tend to do that before I start, mixing it with other stuff. But these, and you can see the shifts in some of them. I'm looking at this one right here, how it looks like a teal, but then it looks like a dark green. I mean, this is just a pretty palette. And even though I do like Boo Boo the Fool, I write down like what the shadow is and what it's described as and what the shifts are, but then I never look at it before I do looks. So I think I'm gonna stop doing that because I don't ever look at that after I do the swatches. Sadly, you missed Stone Cold. Yeah, when their stuff goes, it just goes. I'm just So to recap everything that's top tier this month, which is all 14 of our palettes. 15 would have been 669. We've already done our moment of silence for that palette because it was dead and I just needed to bury it. So that's done. So 14 palettes we used in September. Stone Cold Medusa, everything's top tier. Notoriously Morbid. I do have a code below. Just know it's going to take a long time to get your stuff. Rested Essence Volume 3. Tony purchased the bundle. They had number 1, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3 in a bundle. And I think it was like less than $5 if you got them all separate. And so I did, though. They sent this to me in PR. So I ordered number 1 and number 2. I forget what other palette I ordered. I really do. I forget. So Rested Essence Volume 3. Sassy Fairy Selling Cosmetics in My Dreams palette. I'm so glad I got that palette. Notoriously Morbid Unearthly Aura. I'm excited for when Tony starts doing videos because I want to see the gossip one because they do have the same vibe. Lethal Cosmetics Midnight Serenade. Let me know if you guys have any of these that's in here. My 669 Lethal dupe. And I'm glad that card fit in there. Natasha, I Need a Warm. Natasha Bieber palette. Martine Cosmetics Mission Triple X. Paradise Islands, it surprises me as top tier, but it is unique to my collection, and I do actually like all the looks that I've done with it. I just don't use it that often because I like darker color stories. Midnight Sun, Mothership number 6. Mothership number 10, Moonlit Seduction. And last but certainly not least, Matte Pride palette. This was not as busy because I remember one time, Sarah, we had like 20 something palettes. I think it was 21. And so when I counted them this time, including 669, would have been 15. So we have 14 palettes here. But when I thought about it, even when we had 21, I'm like, well, that's almost a look a day with a different palette. And then some I paired with something else, I think. I forget what month that was. And so if I do a different palette, even if I do a look 5 days a week, times that by 4, that's 20 palettes. Times it by 4 weeks, that's 20 palettes. And so it sounded like, damn, I used 21 palettes that month. But then if I do it, use a different one every day, it's not that bad. And I think what happened with this, I know when I first get a palette, I do knock out 3-4 looks. And you have that MAC one, Sarah? What? Do you really like it? And so I know I did like a couple of videos with this one over the course of, a few days. And I did use Pride a couple times last month because I wanted to use all the shades. That was like 5 looks. They're all top tier, Tony. I don't do rankings. I do tiers. So it's like low tier, mid tier, top tier. Because it's so hard for me to be like, oh, this is number 14. This is number. I got that. See, you're giving me anxiety right now. But I'm not able to do that because even though it's not like a real thing, it just creates so much anxiety. It's like trying to pick, which peanut butter I like better. Like I don't. And I love them all equally, so I really can't say this one over that one. So that's why I do tiers, as you've noticed over the last few months. Top tier, mid tier, low tier. Because I just can't. It creates so much anxiety. Then he says, you lucky one. I own nothing from MAC but this palette. Would have been an Insta buy. Oh, that was sweet. Sarah says she loves it. A lovely, thoughtful friend gifted it to her. I want to know who that is. Tell them send me some stuff. And so yeah, I can't rank them because I love them all equally. And so they're all just top tier. And they're all just top tier. I can't. I just cannot. I cannot. I just really can't. Um, yeah, I'm sitting here thinking if I could, but I can't do it. I cannot. So these are all my favorite children. And it feels so good. And it's been my goal for everything to be top tier because I want to love everything I have and not just be like, it's all right. And so that's why some stuff went in purgatory, because if I don't love it, or if it doesn't call to me, if I don't use it, why keep it here? Janessa says she loved the ring things. I'm a judgy bitch. I'm not good at it. It creates too much anxiety for me. And so these are all 14 palettes that we used in September. I just can't. I mean, I've ranked by brand. I have done that. But like, because these are all different brands, I think I did a Natasha ranking a while ago. I think I did. I know I've done a Pat McGrath Mothership ranking eons ago, which was probably like last year. But if you become a member and request a ranking, she's required to do it. That is so true. If you're a member, you make requests and I will do it. But you know what, though? Tony uses the hell out of my notoriously morbid code. She does. And so if she would have asked me, I would do ranking, but it would have to be by brand. But because all of these are different brands and I love them all for different reasons, I'm not able to be like, I like this one more than that one. You know what I mean? But yeah, but seriously, if Tony did ask me by brand, I would do it because she used the hell out of my code, and that's a hell of a lot of support. And I do appreciate that additional support, because watching and commenting and liking supports, but when you use a code, that's additional support. And so this one time in the live, I asked Tony what she ordered. She listed a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, damn, you done got almost everything they have available. Now she's giving excuses, anxiety be damned. This is a lot. We'll chat, Tony. We'll see. But yes, I do appreciate all that support. And that's how, and it's somebody besides her, because you save 15%, I get 15%. I get 15% credit. And at one point in my account was like over $200 worth of credit. And I'm like, that's more than just one person. So the last thing I ordered, when I think it was the advent calendar or something I ordered, I saved $15.75. I used Katie's code. And so she'll get that $15.75. But it was a few things that I ordered. And that's what made me think it can't just be just Tony. It's somebody else. And I don't know who else. But so that's how I'm getting, buying a lot of stuff, is using credit. And so I've been ordering things that they had before that I didn't like before they put me on the PR team, because the PR stuff I get. So the other stuff that I don't get, like Rested Essence 1 and 2, I didn't have. I got that. And I cannot remember the other one I got. But so I do appreciate it, because I do really love their formula. And so I don't care that it's credit, because I am going to buy stuff. Yeah. And I got the advent calendar. That was fun. Opening that here. So that's kind of it, y'all. So does anybody else have anything else that I showed? Mothership 5. No, Mothership 6, Midnight Sun, 10, Moonlit Seduction, Paradise Islands. Any Notoriously Morbid stuff. Any Natasha stuff. I'm not even going to say Martine Cosmetics, because they've been pushing skincare a lot lately. And I'm like, I didn't come to you for skincare. I came to them when they had 669. But yeah, like, this is beautiful. The I Need a Warm. And I was surprised how much I liked it, because I don't really go for these colors, but it's just really easy and simple, just like the gold palette. And I do really enjoy using this. But so that's kind of going to be it. Well, not kind of. That's going to be it, y'all, unless y'all have any more comments or questions or whatever. If you're newer to my channel and any of these palettes are like, oh my gosh, wow, and you want to see what I did with it, just click to find a playlist for it, because I list the playlist by brand and by palette, except for MAC, because some of them are BYOPs, and so it'll be like MAC Cosmetics, BYOPs, MAC Cosmetics, limited edition palettes, and that's where you'll find the Pride looks in the limited edition playlist for MAC. But everything else Natasha Denona Bieber palette, Natasha Denona whatever palette, Notoriously Morbid Rusted Essence, Notoriously Morbid Honestly Aura. Yeah, I'm very detailed like that. So I have like 2,173 playlists, I think. I didn't count, but it's a lot. So we're gonna go, y'all, and thank you for tolerating me talking about Roxa and not comparing, but pairing that with Madame Violet. I'm trying to figure out, Locke. She's going to pick up some indie palettes during their Black Friday, so I'm hoping for 50% like they usually have. I am too, and I'm trying to figure out like which ones that I actually want, like to purchase for my kit. And I even put in my calendar like which ones I think I want to get so that I don't lose my mind when I see the sale. But I do want to get Yucca palette for my kit, but then I'm thinking, is anybody really going to want that color story? You know what I'm saying? And I do want to get Circle Loco definitely for the kit, because if they want something bold, that's going to be that will be utilized for my kit. I need a MIDI Bieber release. And so I have Yucca to get and Circle Loco to get. Last year or the year before, they bundled Circle Loco with Biba. And that's when I repurchased them. So my Biba I have now, and this is my second one, and my Circle Loco, this one is my second one. And then I'm thinking maybe I'll just get a bunch of the minis, because I do like the minis. And so that wouldn't be committing to an entire palette if they're not really, if my clientele isn't going to want all of those different colors. But having the minis will be easy to travel with, and I can just mix and match with other stuff. Because so far, everyone I've done, when I say, what type of look would you like? They say, oh, just do a neutral look. And I'm like, okay. But inside, I'm like, boring. Tanya's been buying minis from eBay. I have not purchased makeup from eBay ever, I don't think. Is it authentic stuff, Tanya? And so I've been looking at their minis and thinking, do I just want to get a bunch of those? Because the ones I have four or five of the minis. Oh, it is authentic, Tanya? That's good. I do like the minis that I have. And they are standalone palettes for me, but it would just give me that extra variety without like an entire. And some of them aren't available. Zendo isn't available. Tropic isn't. Metropolis isn't. Zendo isn't. Well, why have mini Zendo on this list twice? And so I might just get a bunch of the minis just to bump up the collection for my kit. So it wouldn't be for me, Tanya. No, all this that I'm thinking of getting from her sale, if it's on sale, is for my kit. Because I already have them, so I don't need duplicates. Even though I do have a couple palettes that are duplicates because I ordered it forgetting that I already had it because I was so excited about it. But anyway, and her stuff lasts a long time. So it's not like, okay, I bought it last year, it's going to die this year. Because just like my Pat McGrath, one of them, the PAO was in 2023. And it's still performing like the day I got it. And so I'll keep using it until it irritates my lids, and then I'll repurchase, because her motherships are not limited edition. Y'all, listen, do y'all think she's going to come out with a mothership next year? Because she did not come out this year, and people were in an uproar. You went Safari. I did have it. Mine smelled like glue, and I left the lid open like for 2 days straight, and it still smelled like glue. And so I used it for a while, and then after a while, I got rid of it. And I didn't mind that it was an all matte palette, but I just couldn't, that smell. It didn't smell. Mine didn't. I don't know about anybody else's. Somebody has said that they were looking on Mercari for the Safari palette. Even though the PAO was 24 months, meaning it should last you at least 24 months after you buy it. How long ago did Safari palette launch? I'm like, even if it's brand new, that means it's been sitting on somebody's shelf for like 7-8 years. I'm like, I don't know if I would trust that it would still be good. And they didn't answer back, so because we were texting about it or something. But I'm just like with the motherships, they're always in rotation. But for something that was limited edition, and it's like 8 years later, and you're trying to find a new one, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't do it, but I have sensitive lids, so I cannot do that type of stuff. But so do y'all think she's going to come out with it? Well, not her. And it annoys me when people still say, oh, mother need to do this or do that. I'm like, she is not in creative control of the brand anymore. Her investors are in creative control. That's why everything is so blah now. Pat McGrath herself is living her best life, doing runways, doing fashion shows. She is not in the lab coming up with these color stories. And when I see people comment saying the investors are in control, I'm like, thank you. But some people still complain of what she's not doing. She's not in creative control. She ain't doing nothing with this brand but cashing them checks. The investors are the ones that's coming up with this stuff. But do y'all think they're ever going to do another mothership? That's the question. I kind of don't think so. Who in here is going to get the new holiday palette that she came out with? Because people are loving the formula, and it was made in Italy. And I do like the Italian formula better than her made in the USA formula. But I know I don't really gravitate to them colors. Every holiday palette I've had, I didn't keep. So I'm like, I'm not even going to do this one. Tanya says that would be crazy if they didn't. But they didn't do one this year. So you think they'll do one next year? Locke does want one of the quints. Is it the one with that green, yellow? What is it, green and black or yellow and black or something? Because that one I'm kind of like... But then I remember that my current quints are in purgatory. So I'm like, why get more quints when the other ones I'm like unsure about? Even though I do like the color store, I just don't reach for them. Janessa says they need to bring her back to design a new mothership so I'm not the same pink gold shenanigans. She living her best life. And I ain't even mad at her. If I can do what I want to do and you keep sending me checks, we cool. We are so cool. No, the boring looking. But you know what, Lab? You be rocking some stuff, though. You be rocking it. You have that innate talent, that gift. Tanya said, yeah, I saw her on Tuesday demo on YouTube. People are loving the formula. And I'm like, just like with the last one. Thank you, Locke. Just like with the last one, it had the blushes in it. I said, if I see it, yeah, she was talking about runaways. She is living her best life doing what she does best because that's what she did 20, 30 years ago. She was on the runway doing fashion shows, them avant-garde looks. And that's why Subliminal Mothership 1, Sublime Mothership number 2, Subversive Mothership number 3 was her avant-garde palette. And then it was Decadence, and then Bronze Seduction, Basic, Midnight Sun, Grungy. And after that, everything has been similar. That's when she started taking on investors. And that's when shit changed. After Midnight Sun, that's when it changed. Like, if you really think about it, and you look back in history a little bit, yeah, that's when it changed. But she's living her best life. And even when I went to my non-makeup Instagram, some of her stuff popped up. When they were doing that glossy skin, whatever, or maybe it was before Instagram broke up with me, that glossy skin stuff, I said, it ain't no way in hell. How can people still believe she's in control of the brand when the brand is making this boring ass shit, but she's on YouTube doing this glossy, glassy face? That ain't make no damn sense. I'm like, how is this person over here that's creating these products when they're doing all of this avant-garde runway stuff over here? And people still be like, oh, she needs to, it ain't her. I know y'all know this. So I'm just kind of ranting right now. But I'm like, how is this person that's doing all of this making these boring ass motherships? Because she's not. All right, let me get off of that because I just be like, people, in so many videos, oh, she need to listen. She ain't even in the building for the meetings. Natty says she can't do neutral looks, my nemesis. Right. And Subliminal, Sublime, and Subversive, those are my favorite ones. And Moonlit Seduction, which surprises me. But I had Divine Rose, I had Utopian Dream. One of them is still Bronze Seduction. I think that's still in my Macari store because I'm just basic. I'm just, but I do like her quints, the Italian formula ones. But I just don't use them. Like, they don't call to me. So I'm like, why? And I'm looking at the duos, and I like that green black one. But I'm like, am I really going to use it? Because there are other quints and smaller palettes are in my purgatory box. So I try to be a conscientious consumer. I think about, is it going to dupe anything in my collection? Is it going to be unique to my collection? Excuse me. How realistic is it that I'm going to use it on a regular basis? And those are the questions I ask myself. And I also have an accountability partner too, that we ask each other questions to see how realistic we're thinking. Sorry, I have to work again. Last round for my patient. See you. Are you a nurse? Oh, that's why you're so caring and sweet. Have a good rest of your shift, Maddie. And again, thank you for being here. Got another nurse in the house. Nurses are special people. My mom's side of the family, they were mostly nurses. Even my uncle, one of my uncles, he was in the Navy. He was a nurse in the Navy. But it was either nurses or law enforcement on my mom's side. But yeah, so yeah, that brand is going in the shitter, and people still swear it's her. I'm like, it is not. All right, so that is it, y'all, because I'm just really ranting right now. But this though, yeah, I will be doing some members only posts because we need to start getting the member shop my stash stuff together, so at least I can write stuff down and know what we're doing for Vlogmas. And also I'm going to ask the members some live stream ideas, because one of the members said, what if you do a live every week? I mean, every day for 7 days. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to be asking members what they would like for me to do for the live streams, because it's going to be 7 in a row. And shop my stash stuff. So if you want more input, or if you want input, period, into the content on this channel, becoming a member is the way to do that, because I do ask my members, and like I said earlier, I will do it. I'm obligated to do it because that is one of the perks. And so I am obligated to do that. And I put that as a perk because I wanted you guys to feel like you're invested into the channel, because it's $2.99 a month, which is an investment. And so I didn't just want to be like, oh, $2.99 a month, and I just do like one tutorial a month. And I've seen a lot of channels with membership. They do one tutorial a month, members only. But if you look at their channel, they do tutorials throughout the month anyway. So how is that special? And so I wanted it to be something different that only the members would be able to do, and to see their stuff here on the channel, what they want to see me do. So that's the way to do that. So on that note, we're going to go. Why am I acting like I'm going to get up? I'm delirious. Thank all of you for being here. Make sure you thumbs up if you enjoy this, even my rants. If you enjoyed or appreciated seeing these two palettes, Madame Violet and the Roxa palette, I can say, looking at these two together and complaining that this is not a purple palette to me, but then I was disappointed that this one was a purple palette. I'm like, I was tripping. So I do appreciate this more now, and I am excited to get back to it, to do more looks. And so that's on my list for actually later this week, to do more looks with this. And I may do at least 2 more looks with Roxa before I ship that off. I'm gonna give that away, and then that'll be that, and we'll just keep moving. I don't have a lot of videos scheduled out, y'all, so I'm almost caught up. And I remember saying before, I wanted to get to the place where I don't have a video going up every day, but because Roxa came out, I've been uploading those every day. And I do want to circle back to Mario's palette as well and do the color groupings that he had. But so lots of stuff coming up. I'm excited for what's coming up and for the things that's in my mind to do. And yeah, we're going to go because I'm just babbling at this point. So thank all of you for being here. I appreciate you. And I don't know what the hell was going on with YouTube not letting me just click go live. That was just weird as hell. But I'm going to copy and paste that stuff over into the description box for this one before I delete that notice. And we'll be back here next Monday. We have a premiere. I think it's tomorrow night. It's already scheduled. And that one is the looks that I did with Esom. Yeah, that's tomorrow night. It's starting at 8:00. I think it's like an hour and a half long. The first 2 looks were long because it was my first experience with Esom shadows. And so I was just talking about the formula, how this is doing, my thoughts, all this and that. And then towards the 4th and 5th look, I did get quicker because I'm like, this shit is too long. So there's a premiere tomorrow night. There's a video going up at 7 a.m. I think. I'm sure there is. And then tomorrow night, we're back here 8:00 for a premiere. So it's not a live stream, but I'll be in the chats with you if you want to comment on what you're seeing. So we did looks by columns with both of those Eastern palettes, and y'all, I am loving it. I'm glad that I purchased them. I really am for myself, and I already had purchased a set for the kit. So the kit ones are untouched right now, and so I'm using mine. Why am I like? But I'm excited, and I am glad that I got those, and it's great that they gave me credit for the price difference, which I didn't ask for. But yeah, I'm digging it, y'all. And some of the looks are similar to other stuff I have, and so now I'm looking at the other palettes like I don't really need that anymore. Yeah. And so we're going to go seriously. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. I do not take it lightly. Um, we'll be at the premiere tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'll be in the chats. If y'all can make it, that's fine. If not, it'll just be there for replay type thing. And excuse me, and that'll be it. Something looks shiny right here. What is that? Oh, it's my skin. Why is this a shiny patch right here? Like right here. My skin is moisturized. Hey, my little great and every half friend. We in there. We about to go. But Kim, you just got home. Start off the replay crew for me. Yeah, we talk a lot about makeup. I know you don't wear makeup a lot, but and watching the replay, you can skip if you want because it is like an hour and a half long. But thank you for popping in, and we'll chat later, okay? Yeah, we'll do that. So thank all of you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Lots of exciting stuff coming up once we get off Roxa and off Mario. But yeah, that'll be it. So as everybody have a good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I miss our talks too. You know what? I might find you on my non-Instagram account, but I'm apprehensive about even using that to chat with people because what if that one starts acting up like the makeup one and then I'll still lose touch with people? I'm just so yeah, Instagram got me twisted, but I do miss our talks too. So we're gonna go, y'all. Everybody have a good evening, a good morning, wherever you are in the world. If you're working and you're multitasking, I still appreciate your time and for tuning in. And I do always appreciate the chats, which is great. You only have Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I deleted my Facebook last summer. I'm like, no, it was this summer, I think. So yeah, I just have my non-makeup Instagram, which I never post on, and well, haven't for like 2 years, and YouTube, and that's it. But so we're gonna go, everybody. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the crazy troll nation way. Look, YouTube is about to roll out something. It's not DMs, but they're going to start changing. They're going to add like a community something where anybody can just leave comments and people can respond to it. So it's almost like a live chat, but it's not going to be a live chat where people can comment anything and other people can comment and communicate with them. And then, I can chime in and comment. But I'm just like, why are they trying to do this stuff? But yet I can't get into my live. But they trying to do, and that's why I always say YouTube is always doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, which they are. It's just a business, and the house always wins, so they're going to do what they do to make money. But and I forget who said it. I don't know if it was Kevin or Nick Nimmin was saying, what if they did just have DMs? But then for people who have 10,000, 20,000, 200,000 subscribers, and people are really engaged, is my phone, would their phone be beeping all day because people sending DMs all day? And I do kind of think that's what Twitter does, because when I looked at Jen Luvs on Twitter, they be having conversations. I don't post personal stuff. I just post the look of the day and the video link, and that's it. I don't be like, oh, how's the weather with you? Or I don't do that. But she and a lot of people with those larger channels, they are more personable. And I'm not. I'm here for the makeup. And so it's kind of like how Twitter would be, where, she posts something, people comment, and they just have these long ass conversations. And I'd be like, damn, who got all that time in the day? But then that's her job, you know what I mean? But I think it would be chaotic if YouTube had DMs, unless if it was only for members and maybe a certain level membership. Because I think I have 16 now, I think. So and all of them aren't active. Like some of them, I've never seen their name in the chat. I've never seen their name under comments. And I think those are some of the ones that receive the gifted memberships. And so it's maybe 10 of you, 11 of you that actually I see in chats and under my videos. And so if it was a member perk, DM for a certain level of membership, I think that will work better because you have your core group of people who are always there. And for half of y'all, we chat outside of YouTube anyway. So we kind of just be texting anyway. But if it was just across the board DMs, I think that would be overwhelming. I think it would be a bit too much. But if it was a membership perk thing, I think that would be better. And then you can also control it better, not have like thousands of people, coming at you. And somebody was saying too about the community tab post thing. Speaking of makeup, Kim says she got the Halloween 2 palette coming tomorrow from Glamlight because in capital letters, I had to get Michael Myers palette. I wanted it too, but Glamlight uses pressed pigments. I can't use their stuff. But that one and whoever had, if that was them also who had the Chucky palette, I was like, that's dark smoky. I'm like, I like that, but can't use it. So, but yeah, the comment stuff, the community tab comment thing that they're trying to do, part of me thinks it's a good idea and part of me doesn't, because what if you have the not so good trolls and people just want to come in and just be saying slick shit, and it's just like you have no control over it. You can't say who can post and who can't post. And so that was one of the critiques, is that it could end up out of control really quick. So I don't know. But if it was a membership thing, that I would be like, yeah, that'd be really cool. Because I do want to be in touch with y'all, which is why I do the members only posts. But the thing they're rolling out, anybody can just post anything on there. Like for membership, I have to do a post and then you guys can respond to it. But the thing they're talking about, anybody can just post anything at any time, whether I post or not. And so it's like, what if you get that negative traffic and people that are just bitches and bastards? What do you do about that? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But video tomorrow morning, tomorrow night premiere. You're dealing with a nasty troll right now. I hate the nasty ones. We the good trolls over here. Them other people. Yeah, so some people are excited about it and some people are just like, they kind of see where it might end up not being a good thing. So, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So, yes, y'all, we're really going. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. My teeth look shiny. That was so random. I got to go, y'all. I'm out of control. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon. Good night, everybody.